Welcome to your Tutor Online video lessons. My name is Joel, and today I'm going to teach you how to factor a quadratic trinomial when a is 1. First, let me start with some definitions. A quadratic trinomial looks like this equation here at the bottom. Ax squared plus bx plus c. And it's called quadratic because that's the highest degree, degree being the power or the exponent. The biggest number there is a 2. We just call that quadratic. And it involves only one variable. Here we only have the x. The a, b, and c all stand for just regular old numbers. It's a trinomial because there are three terms. We have the ax squared, the bx, and the c. They're all separated by a sign, a positive or a negative sign. So three terms makes it a trinomial. Think of a tricycle. Okay. Let's go ahead into it. I'll show you an example for how to factor. I'm going to look at x squared minus 6x plus 8. Okay, for the purpose of this video, I'm only going to be dealing with quadratic equations when that leading coefficient is a 1, and when it's 1, it's invisible. We just don't write it. If you want to learn how to factor quadratic trinomials when a is not 1, just click the link down below for that video. But for here, we're going to do the simple example where a is 1. Okay, the very first step is we're going to set up two sets of parentheses, because that's what the answer is going to look like. And then we're going to start filling in pieces just like a puzzle. The first piece is always the easiest one when dealing with a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. It's just going to be the variable itself. And the reason for that is that first term, remember, like a reversed FOIL, it's the first terms multiplied together. The only way to get x squared is an x and an x multiplied together. It's the only way. So that first blank spaces is going to be x. Alright, next we're going to deal with the other blank space. It's going to be a number. And to get that, we're going to look at our c term, our last term. Go ahead and write that over onto the side in some sketch area. And we're going to write all of the factors that will multiply together to give us that last term. Here it's an 8, so 1 times 8 gives us 8. 2 times 4 gives us 8. 3 doesn't work. 5 doesn't work. 6 doesn't work. 7 doesn't work. You can stop there as soon as you write down all of the factors. Okay. 4 did work, but it's already here in our 2 and 4. You only need to write down the pair once. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is look at our middle term, and we're going to ask, of these factor pairs that multiply to give us 8, which one of these will add or subtract together to give us that middle term of 6? Well, 1 and 8 is no way you can get the 6 from 1 and 8. 8 minus 1 is 7, and it doesn't work. 4 plus 2 is 6. That one does work. We can make it work. Alright. Now, the reason we did that is because this these last two spots is going to be two numbers that multiply together to give you the last term, and add or subtract together to give you the middle term. We have 2 and 4. Go ahead and fill those in any order you like. The order here does not matter. It's the sign that matters. Alright. And that's the last step, is to figure out the sign. First thing we're going to do is look at the sign that's in front of that last term, the c term. If it's positive, both of these signs will be the same. If that last sign is negative, the signs will be different. Okay. So in our example, the sign is positive, so we know both of these signs are going to be the same. Now we have to ask, okay, they're both the same. What is it? Is it going to be positive or negative? All we got to do is look at that first term, the negative. If they're both the same, they're going to match that first sign. So they're both negative. Okay? And that's all we got to do in 3 steps. First, set up the equation, find two factors that will multiply together to give you the last term, and then find, of those factors, which ones combine together to give you the middle term. Last step is figure out the sign. Okay? Factor, combine, and sign. If ever you're unsure, you can go ahead and FOIL the equation to make sure you have the correct answer. X times x is x squared. That's first, outer, x times negative 2 is negative 2x. Inner, negative 4 times x is negative 4x. And last, negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. Combine the like terms, we have x squared minus 6x plus 8, which is our original, so this is a correct factoring. Okay. Another example. I have x squared plus 7x minus 18. All right, go ahead and set up the factoring with our parentheses and our x, because we know that has to be the first term. All right, step 1, find those factors for the last term, 18. We have 1 and 18 will multiply together, give us 18. We have 2 and 9, 3 and 6. 4 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, 6 works, but it's already here, so we are done. Now we're going to look of these factor pairs, which ones will combine together to give us the 7. No way you can get to 7 from 1 and 18. Let's see, 2 and 9, 9 minus 2 will give us 7, so that one works. And we'll just check 3 and 6 to make sure. 6 plus 3 is 9, 6 minus 3 is 0. That's not going to work either. All right, now that we know that 2 and 9 work, we're going to fill those in. Again, the order does not matter, it's the sign that matters. And now we're going to figure out our signs. Look at the last sign. The last sign is negative, so these two signs are going to be different. To figure out which sign goes with which, we're going to have a positive sign and a negative sign. Look to the middle term. The sign of the middle term will always go to the larger number. So since 7 is positive and 9 is the bigger number, 9 gets the positive. They're different signs, so this one has to be a negative. Okay? Those are the rules. Step 1, find the factors of the last term. Step 2, find the pair that will combine to give you the middle term. And step 3, look at your sign. And then again, to recap the sign rules, if the last sign is positive, both of these signs are the same and it will match the middle term. If the sign is negative, both of the signs will be different and the larger number will get the same sign as the second term. You can confirm your answer by factoring. First, x times x is x squared. Outer, x times negative 2 is negative 2x. Inner, positive 9 and x is positive 9x. And last, 9 and negative 2 is negative 18. Combine our like terms, x squared, we have negative 2 plus positive 9 is positive 7x minus 18. That's what we had to begin with, so this factoring is correct. All right, one final example I want to make sure I show you. And that is x squared plus 4x minus 9. Same thing, set up the factoring. First term is x. Alright, now that 9. Factors that give us 9 is 1 and 9, 3 and 3. Now we're going to look for that middle term, the 4. Is there any way we can get to 4 from any of these? 1 and 9, we can get down to 8. 3 and 3, we can get to 0 or 6. And it just doesn't work. Sometimes not all quadratic trinomials are factorable, and this is an example. If this were an equation, the only way to solve for it would be the quadratic equation. So just because you see a trinomial does not mean you can factor it, and the way to figure out if you can or not is if this doesn't work out. Okay. One last recap to make sure it gets drilled in your mind here. Set up your equation. Find the factors of the last term, find the pair that will combine to give you the middle term, then get your signs. If the last sign is positive, both these signs are the same and will match the middle term. If the last sign is negative, they will both be different, and the bigger number gets the sign of the middle term. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me for this lesson. I hope it was helpful for you. help me help you by leaving comments and asking questions here right on the video page. And you can also email me, joel@yourtutoronline.com. Go on over and like the Facebook page. And if these videos were helpful for you, please share them with your classmates, your friends, and your teachers. And I will see you next time. Happy studying.